Ever since I started playing Powerline.io, there's been a mysterious and legendary figure in the community, Powerline.io's developer. Someone so shrouded in mystery that they need a whole documentary video about them. You see, when Powerline was first released, the game saw consistent updates and even unique features like in-game talking. Then, all of a sudden, the developer disappeared without a trace, leaving the game's glitches out of control and leaving its players in the dark. In this documentary, I'm going to retrace the steps of Powerline.io's missing developer and uncover his secret identity. Our starting point is going to be the actual game page of Powerline.io. And if we look in the bottom right corner, we can see that the game hasn't been updated for almost 2 years at the time of making this video. If we click here, we can see the game's changelog and updates, and when they stopped 2 years ago. But when we return to the game's page, we find our first clue. The game's most recent update was adding the Discord community button. So first, it's time to search the Discord for any sign of the developer. Well, there was pretty much nothing, but if we return to the game's page, we can get to the developer's Twitter, which has a lot more information. But first, I had to make a Twitter account because I don't use Twitter. Now that we're at the Twitter page, we can look around and see that the developer's real name is Andre Almeida, and that the last time he was active on this account was around November 23rd, and this is actually when he posted his first written tweet in years, and coincidentally, it's about Powerline.io. This tweet itself isn't important, but what is that Andre still uses this account, and is still connected enough to his old games to type up tweets about them. I sent him a DM and we'll check back on it at the end of the video. The third link on the Powerline website is the game's Reddit link, but there's not too much information about the developer there, so we're going to move on to the World Wide Web. This is where we take a dive into the unknown of the internet, because any website we visit from here on out is not directly linked to Powerline.io or its developer. We can't be sure if any information is correct unless we see it directly corroborated by information on his Twitter page. I began to search the internet for any traces of Andre Almeida, and let me tell you, it didn't help that there are 2 Portuguese soccer players with the exact same name. But after some searching, I was able to find 2 online pages that could definitely be linked with the actual Andre due to similar information in the bios of both pages. The first is a Facebook page that shows us our first photo of Andre and a bit more information about jobs he's worked at and where he went to college. Now, some might say this is a little creepy, but what I have to say to you is that the developer stopped updating his game, so I wouldn't be doing this if he had just updated his game. Anyway, the second page is his Quora page that answers some questions about an earlier game of his, Wings.io, but doesn't really reveal any more information beyond that, aside from a photo of him. I think that the reason that it's so difficult to find traces of him online is that there are so many other developers with similar names, and he's a relatively secretive person. But anyways, this concludes our brief investigation, and the complete lack of information is somewhat frustrating, and at this point, all that's left to do is to wait for him to respond to my message.